guys, welcome back to another virtual classroom episode. We've got a few special guests today. So I'm Stacy.
And I'm Leslie.
And then I've got my little boy Lucas is here with us today. And we are talking about our Sulcata tortoises. So you're going to probably see this crazy guy back here just roaming around while we talk about them throughout the video here. So the little one up front, this is Pineapple. Pineapple is about 3 years old, and she weighs about 3.5 pounds right now. Over here to my left, you're going to see Mr. Apple, who's about 10 years old, and he weighs about 35 pounds. And behind us in our other yard is Tiny, who is about 35 years old, and he weighs about 120 pounds. So with these guys, they're Sulcata tortoises, they're desert tortoises, and they're the third largest tortoise in the world. They can get up to 150 pounds, and they can live 75 to 100 years. So they're a big pet and they're a big responsibility because you're going to have them for quite some time. Apple's coming up to say hey to everybody. As you can see with Miss Pineapple right here, they're grazers. So they're going to eat different kinds of grasses and things. But these guys are not from around here. You're not going to find them in your backyard at all. You're going to find them in the desert. So they're mostly found in the southern part of the Sahara Desert. With these guys, because obviously it's not very warm here, you can see behind us we have a little house that was built for them. That house actually gives them heat throughout the winter time. So hopefully you guys did the lessons earlier today and you can learn a little bit about the hibernation and brumation. Miss Leslie's going to tell you guys a little bit more about that with regards to these guys.
Yeah, so these guys go through what we call brumation. So it's a little bit different than hibernation. And what it is in warmer weathers, they'll actually wake up. But in the wintertime, like I was saying, we could have a blizzard and then the next day it can be 70 degrees. And these guys are able to sense that different change in temperature. So unlike a bear who's going to be further up north in our continent, who's going to sleep the entire winter, these guys will wake up during those warmer days. They'll come out, they'll get something to eat, go to the bathroom, and then as the temperature drops back down again, they're going to head back inside and they may sleep for a few more days or until the weather warms back up again.
Yeah, so with the little houses they have behind us, they have little heating pads in them. So throughout most of the wintertime, that's where our tortoises stay. We've got 2 houses built, one's for Apple and one is for Tiny. This Pineapple is still small enough, she lives inside at the moment. But both of these houses were actually built by a Boy Scout for his Eagle Scout project. So it was a cool thing that we were able to get donated for us to be able to use here. Now, we talked about with these guys, their care is something that's a little bit different. A lot of people don't necessarily realize how big these tortoises get. When they're first born, they're only about 1.5 inches across, so they're very, very little. Oh, hi, bud. But they do grow pretty quickly. Like she said, the one behind me, he's grown a good bit. We got him when he was just a baby, and he got the name Apple because he was the size of an apple. So over the course of about the past 4 years, he's grown this large. Now, these guys are ones that in the wild, are you going to use me as a scratching post? These guys are ones that in the wild, this is just, yep, the life of working with animals. You just never know what's going to happen. If you notice as he's walking by, he's got those sharp pieces on the front of his feet. He actually would use those to dig. Being that they're from the desert, there's not a lot of trees for shade, they're actually going to dig holes in the ground. And they're going to use that to be able to have a nice cool spot. He could dig a hole up to 10 feet deep. That's going to be basically me on top of myself. It's going to be a very, very deep hole that they could build, or they could dig, to be able to keep themselves cool while it's hot outside.
But yeah, that den is really, really important. These guys are considered crepuscular. So that means that they're going to be out in the early morning and in the evenings when the weather is at its coolest. But if it gets too hot, that's where they're going to go to feel protected and cool down. They overheat really easily, but they can also get too cold, which isn't going to be very good for their system. They're the swimmer. So that's why those dens are super important for them. And we're keeping these guys separated from each other because they are very territorial animals that can become aggressive. And there is a definite size difference. So for her protection, we're just keeping her away from Apple, just in case.
Yeah, that's actually the reason why we have Tiny. He actually ended up at a rescue with a bunch of other tortoises, and he would use that part on his shell that comes out as like a V to actually flip the other tortoises over. But when tortoises are on their backs, they don't breathe very well, so that's not a good situation for them. The rescue he was at reached out to us to see if we might be able to take him in, since we didn't have any tortoises at the time, or Sulcata tortoises at the time. And so that's why he's got his own area over there. He is separated from Apple. You can kind of see the little fencing behind us, just to be able to keep them away from each other. So they both have their own spaces to graze and things like that. All right, well, we hope you guys enjoy learning about these guys. Make sure you do some of the activities and the fun things we have posted. If you look online, you'll see lots more cool pictures and videos of all 3 of our tortoises. And we hope you guys enjoyed it. If you've got any questions or anything, feel free to email us, education@rescueranch.com, and hopefully we'll see you guys soon.
Hey again. So we wanted to come over and introduce you all to Tiny, since he is out and about, and to show you guys the size comparison between him and Pineapple. So again, Tiny is about 35 years old and weighs about 120 pounds, whereas Pineapple is only 3 and only weighs about 3.5 pounds. So they will get to be, or she will get to be, very, very close to his size. She wants down. She wants to wander. So these guys will grow very, very quickly. So by the time she's 15, she's gonna be full grown. So she's gonna hit a really big growth spurt between 5 and 10 years old. And by about 15, she's gonna be almost the size of him. It's really wild to think about. So it's really something that's really important to think about if you wanna get a Sulcata Tortoise as a pet. They'll start off really small, but then you get this. And they need a lot of space to roam. She wants down so she can go roam and eat.